Hello and welcome to the first bonus episode of the Lights, Camera, Combat podcast. The podcast where we speak to incredible individuals with a life in connection to combat and shine a light on it. Over the course of the summer, we'll be putting out a little bonus series before we start season 2. This will be a collection of some of the best stories, from the most scary stories, the most emotional stories, fighting the Nazis, the biggest achievements. A combination of some of the greatest stories from this series, putting them all together in one place, in one video each week, and we'll be dropping them to you so that you've got some incredible content still to look out for and still to enjoy over the summer, along with some extra special videos which you'll be finding out about very, very soon in another video we'll be dropping this week. But for today, the first bonus episode of this mini-series, we are looking at the scariest moments encountered by some of our guests over the course of their lives. These have some very, very heartbreaking stories, from growing up in the Blitz to fighting on D-Day and facing almost certain death in the midst of battles in Afghanistan. This contains a collection of some really surreal stories that even just hearing snippets of that you'll have heard before if you've listened to the full episodes, and if you haven't, then I urge you to go back and find the individual full episodes of each of these clips, because it is truly worth listening to. These are just a snippet of gold from an incredible episode with each of the guests. But for now, I will let you get on and enjoy this bonus episode of Lights, Camera, Combat. What is there one mission that stands out from the crowd as the most dangerous?
Knock it down. All of them were. Yeah.
I'm thinking about something that you'd mentioned in the past about being on the roof of at night time.
Oh, the P-Jock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, so the P-Jock was an outpost. It was next to a prison in Iraq, and it was next to this in Basra City. And Basra Palace was, you could walk it in 10 minutes, alright, and it takes 2 hours in a vehicle, because you get fucking smashed. And you're battened down in this vehicle, and all it is rounds pinging off and things like that. And we went into the P-Jock, and it was only literally 18 people in this P-Jock. Majority were clerks, majority were chefs, and you only had a few frontline soldiers there. And from probably 11 o'clock at night till 5 in the morning, gates of fucking hell, because all they wanted was to release the prisoners from this prison, and they were like ants coming from everywhere, and it was full on. It was fucking full on fighting, and to the point where you think you're going to get overrun in a minute, you know. And there was a point where I rang Tanya up to say goodbye.
Really?
Yeah, because we were just getting overrun.
What did you say to her on that call?
Where the sniper hide was. Do you ever see the Muppet Show? Do you remember the old guys in the balcony always chomping, weren't they? That was a sniper hide. It might as well have been, because we stuck out like two fucking sore dicks, honestly. And I turned around to my number 2 and I said, look, we need to move from here. We're just attracting too much attention. And he said, yeah, good thinking. And as we went down the ladder, the phone to ring home was at the bottom. It was a red phone. And I said, I just need to do something. It felt right at the time. Many people put me down for it. You know, you're in a firefight and you're ringing home. But they weren't there. They didn't feel the tension. And I rang her and I said to her, I love you. And she goes, yeah, I love you too. She goes, what's all that noise? I said, don't worry about that. And I said, look, I just love you. I love you. And she goes, you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm fine. And my number 2 goes, Craig, we've got to go. I said, look, babe, I've got to go. I said, I promise you one thing, I will ring you in the morning. No matter what, I'll ring you. And yeah, I rang her the next day.
In the moment, did you think you were going to?
No, we had chefs on the machine guns.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? We run out of ammo. We ran out of gun ore, so we were using chip oil, cooking oil.
So what turned the tide?
It was just one big push they did. And what do you mean? How did we win it?
Yeah,
fighting. British mentality. Don't fucking give up. You know. Fucking. I think I had one mag of sniper rifle ammo left.
Wow.
And I usually got probably about 9.
Cool.
Each one holds 5 rounds. Ran out of 5.56 SA-18 rounds ammo. Ran out of that, so we had to get a replanning from the Palace. The Palace couldn't help us from their QRF team because they were pinned down as well. So it was like, you're on your own, boys. You're gonna have to fight. And yeah, that's what we did. We fought, and we got onto the roof, and we had these metal railings, and we put like Hessian sacks down, and we put slits in them, so we can sniper through the slits, so they couldn't do it. But next door was a wheat factory, and they had a big silo of wheat, and they had a door at the top, and it was just full of bullet holes where they used to disappear. But the trouble with them, they always occupy the same firing spot. So you go, yeah, you just carry on doing the job, you know, and then someone else would appear because they're looking down on the roof.
Yeah.
But the ants down the bottom are coming up. They had the we could hear ping noise, ping, ping, and we couldn't work out what this ping noise was. And we, in the morning, we looked down off the roof, and we were fucked. We didn't sleep all night, and we looked down at the roof, and there were RPG warheads down at the bottom, and the old ones have to arm over a certain distance, and they were shooting them so short that they wouldn't have time to arm.
Wow.
And they were shooting the fuel cans, and they were just bouncing off the fuel cans and laying on the floor. So if they hit we call them Oshkoshes, like the fuel vehicle,
yeah,
you know, fill up petrol stations,
yeah,
it would have blown the building apart,
yeah,
easy, and the roof. So yeah, that was a full-on one.
The one what I do really remember and always will remember was I was posted to the Padre Corps. So I said, oh, for Christ's sake, you know where you're going, Butcher, lady. So, oh my God. Anyway, posted you went, and that was awful. That was awful. That was picking the dead out of the water, dragging them bits and pieces. And that was dreadful. And we took a load of dead to Middlesbrough, and the Middlesbrough we I'm saying that a weekly, but you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Coaster. And we took this load of dead, first load. That was awful, but anyway, we had to do it. And a lot of them weren't even put in body bags. Anyway, just chucked them in, rolled them, took them up the coast, and done the same job, dragged them off into this huge cemetery.
Mm.
This huge place was dug out ready to get rid of the dead.
Yeah.
Oh God, I think that was not a Baptist church. Some other name. Anyway, we were told, get back, do your job. Don't talk about it when you leave the job. Oh God.
So, what we're talking about at the moment, is this your involvement in the D-Day landings, the Normandy landings? Was that your mission when you were there?
My first mission was delivering ammunition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shells, mortars, the lot, to you name the Canadian beach.
Juno Beach, was it Juno?
Juno.
Yeah.
Yeah. Juno, and tied up, and then we offload. And that's where I met my mate from Thetford.
Really?
There's the mayor's father. There's Harvey. The mayor's Harvey.
Mm.
There's Harvey. He was Royal Army Service Corps. He was a driver. And I was up here, and he was down here on the landing craft, delivering the vehicles to the beach, right? And he said, "Butcher, butcher." Well, I couldn't see him. All them people, all them pushing and lugging and getting cracking. There's so much bloody noise you couldn't hear or see or anything else. Anyway, I did see him and shout at him, you know, Des Harvey. Yeah.
So this was D-Day +1, the day after D-Day that you arrived.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
So you unload everything off.
Yeah.
Continue to resupply, and then
I think it took them about 5 days to unload.
5 days. You were there about 5 days unloading.
Yeah.
And then at some point there's an explosion on the ship, and some people lose their lives. What do you remember? What happened when that moment that the explosion happened?
I forget what. I forget what charge. I think I was on the 4 to 8 in the morning. 4 to 8 watch. And we hit a mine that blew the chain locker off. You know the barriers like that?
Yeah.
We hit the port side, the left hand side, and that blew that anchor chain locker off. Yeah, and because I forget what happened then. Most of the crew went to help to canvas it. You put the canvas over the barriers and pull it tight and carried on.
So you lose people on board, but the mentality is just patch it up, keep doing what we're doing.
Keep going, yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember what you thought your feelings were at the time surrounding, you know, being part of D-Day, the landings? Did you feel like you were getting closer to the end of the war?
No, the only time I think that was the third time. The third time we took a load to Ghana. And I thought, hello, we're all right. George V was there. Cool, bloody hell. Oh, the noise was awful. The noise. Broadsides, for Christ's sake. 17-inch shells. They made more bloody noise going over the top of you than they did coming out of the ship.
Yeah.
Dreadful. And when they fire broadside, you take the broadside, go 3 guns together, then they go boom, boom, boom. The 3 go different, and the ship go different. The ships all go. Anyway, forget about it.
That's no wonder you need your hearing aids now then, if you've...
Well, I lost my hearing. Yeah.
So, what did it feel like? The sights and the sounds and everything. Does that still sit with you now?
The sound, the sight and everything was as bad as bloody London fog. The fumes, the smoke, the fires, oh God alive, it was dreadful. Dreadful. Yeah.
Was the sound also people as well as explosions?
Pardon?
Were the sounds also from people as well as the explosions? Was there a lot of screaming around where you were, or wounded soldiers?
No, there weren't much screaming. I don't think the clergymen got on very well with the language. The terrible language. Oh dear. Dreadful. Yeah.
What was it? Was it the camaraderie of people together at the time that maybe made it easier to get through it when it was just?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you have a good relationship with the people that you served with?
Yes. Yeah. Got the seaman's cabin was about that big.
Mm.
Small
box.
Three.
Yeah.
Nine seamen sat in that space. Yeah. Never took your clothes off. No. Yeah. Well,
Have you found it easy going back onto boats since the time in the war, or has it kind of lingered with you, the stuff that you did and the stuff that you saw and heard?
well, you shut out. You forget it. You make yourself forget it. Are you with me?
Yeah.
He's picking up, pulling up bodies, hooking bodies out. You can see the faces and the mouths open up. Oh, so anyway, you have to forget that. You put on that job, that's it. You think you put with the parsons are bloody sight worse than what the men are.
Mm.
The reverends, the captains. Oh, Christ, dreadful.
So those images, you still see them now as clearly as you did
Yes.
80 years ago?
Yes, I do, yeah. Yeah.
If you go to sleep, those images would come up?
They do sometimes.
They do?
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that feel now when they come up?
Awful. I have wait, get myself, go somewhere else, do something else, and settle down. Yeah. Can't hear, can't see properly. No.
Do you remember when, so you grew up in London, obviously the Second World War broke out in 1939. Do you remember the time of that, of war breaking out? Do you remember what that time was like?
Yes, I do. And there was a long gradual encroachment towards the real thing. You are now at war with Germany. Well, we thought we'd never get there, but it did. It did happen. We got there, but very few people could actually believe that we were at war with Germany, and we had not a blink of an idea what it involved. we didn't expect, for example, to have night after night of bombing from planes up a few thousand feet in the darkness, up a few thousand feet up, dropping loads of explosives on us. We couldn't have prophesied that kind of situation. And the Germans were our friends for a very, very long period before war actually started. And it was outrageous to think of them as anything else other than our very close friends.
Do you touch on there, obviously what you're talking about is obviously the Blitz, and
Yes.
what
yes.
was it like living through that?
Well, very strange is the quick answer. One got used to it very quickly. One had to. We people in London or Kensington, where I lived at the time, we used to wonder how other folk in another part of England were getting on, and if they were surviving as well as we were surviving. Of course.
Did you have any close calls? Was anywhere near or around you affected by the bombings?
Oh yes, the bombs used to be very accurate, and I think the closest I got is when the one landed directly opposite our house.
Wow.
And right in the sort of in the middle of the road, and that just sort of 10 yards away, so to speak.
Wow.
Although I wouldn't like to measure out the distance. Perhaps if I did, it would make me think even more of how lucky I was to get away with it. Just a few hours before, I might have been walking across that road, and lots of people were being killed, but it was so frequent that we didn't think about it very much.
There was no time to stop and reflect on it, because it was so constant.
No, we didn't reflect on it.
Were you spending your nights, down in air raid shelters and in protection?
Oh yes, we did that, and that was good fun sometimes, because although it wasn't living in the shelters as we were sometimes for weeks on end.
Wow.
It might seem very cruel and hazardous at the moment, but my afterthoughts on that era, on that time, are not at all worrying. I somehow expected to survive.
Do you think that comes with almost that young, childlike naivety in a way?
I think so, yes. Yes, we could hear the planes overhead. They came over just like clockwork. 6 o'clock, there'd be a humming noise in the distance, and then another one, and so on. It would go on, and I kept my fingers crossed. After all, the family were all involved, and if a bomb dropped nearby, we might be lucky and survive. Or we might be injured.
Did you have any family or friends who were injured or affected?
Oh yes, yes, yes. And nobody, fortunately, nobody very, very close to the family. Some folk we were very friendly with up north. Went through the ultimate experience and suffered accordingly. So it was very real and not a bit funny.
No. So
Although we made a lot of fun about it, and the newspapers, of course, made a lot of fun out of it, and that helped a lot for us to clear our minds out.